Hi, this is the second scenario in module 9. In this scenario, we will see how to use the execute process task to execute Python or the R scripts. So we can execute any script with its interpreter or its exe executable. So we can call a third party exe or the custom exe also, but we have the Python and R installed on this machine, and we can use their interpreter executables, and we can execute the Python and R scripts also. So let's see how we call uh, or executes the Python scripts in command prompt. So to execute the Python script, we should need the python.exe with its path and the script file name with the .py. Py means Python file, which has the source code written in Python. So this is the complete command that we will use to execute using the command prompt. And to execute the R scripts in command prompt, we will need rscript.exe, the complete path in some cases, and the .r file that has the R scripts to perform some operation. So if the path has the spaces, it should have the double quotes around this path. In the same way, for .py or .r, it should have it should be encoded or enclosed within the double quotes. So let's see the demonstration there. Here we have the execute process task. It is available in control flow area. Execute process task on control flow. So we double click on this. We can see there is on general page we can provide a name and description, and in the process we have few properties. So executable, in executables we have to provide the interpreter or the exe file path, exe the path of the exe. So on my machine I have this path. Here I have installed this uh, Python, and Python exe is available at this path. And argument, so the argument is the script file path. So we have this .py path there, the path of the Python file. And the working directory. Working directory is used to execute the working directory for the executable file. So I have provided where is my .py file. If we will not provide it, then also it will be sufficient. Only these two items, the executable and arguments, are sufficient. We will see. And again we have the standard input variable, standard output variable, standard error variable. So these are the properties we can use the variables for standard input. Like if our .py file needs some arguments, so we can pass using the variables. Same as if the Python script returns some values, we can capture those values in the output variable, and the error can also be captured in variable. These are the standard input, output, and standard error variables. So there are few more properties which are not of interest here, because I have very simple file path, file script, Python script in the file, and that's it. In expression I have not mapped any expression, so this is fine. And let me show you my script. I have this Python script. Let me open it. So this is the my Python file.py. It has a very small code there. It is importing few libraries. It is changing the directory, and it is preparing some list with data and writing uh, this to CSV. Okay, CSV dot writer file delimiter is comma, and it will write rows into this file, and this file will be generated in this folders. So if we execute this task, it should generate a file there. See, it had generated a file, and we have another execute process task where I will execute my R scripts. So this is the R script. I'm setting a working directory to the folder, and creating a data frame and printing it, and also writing to CSV. So this is a small code that will also generate a CSV file. In this, again we have the executable, the path of the rscript.exe. This is the path on my machine of this exe. And in arguments, we have to provide the file path of that script.r. And you can see here I have not provided the working directory. So it is fine not to provide the working directory. And these system variables, standard input variables, output and error variables, I have not used. If in your requirement it is required, you can pass those variables. All the system variables and user variables will be available there. So let's execute the complete package this time. So it will generate the file in both the folders. You can see for R it was generated on this time, and in Python it also overwritten this file. So this is how we can execute the Python and R scripts. It is just a matter of 2 or 3 properties to provide the executable and the argument. Argument is the file name which contains the source code. Okay, so in this way we can call any exe, right? So this is how we can use the execute process task.